He was arrested for a missing license plate. That wasn't the real crime. April 19th, 1995, a federal building in the middle of a Midwestern city in the US is doing what it always does. People walking in, they've got a coffee, there's a daycare upstairs, routine. It feels predictable, just every day. At 9:02 a.m., that illusion shatters. Phones ring immediately. Dispatch lights up, sirens begin stacking on top of each other, and while the city is choking on dust, 90 minutes later, on a quiet stretch of the highway, a state trooper pulls over a yellow car with no license plate. The trooper approaches. The driver is young, quiet, polite, is a Gulf War veteran, but no real license plate. Then the officer notices a concealed handgun. That's illegal. He arrests him. The man doesn't argue, he doesn't protest, doesn't ask what's happening. He just sits there, very calm. While he's being booked into a county jail, phones are already ringing. Reports flood in. An explosion downtown. A building torn open. Glass everywhere. Concrete dust everywhere. Firefighters are climbing unstable rubble looking for survivors. In the center of it all, a federal building with its entire front ripped away. And the question everyone keeps asking is very simple. Who did this? Investigators searched the debris of a truck survived. It was parked outside the building. They found an axle stamped with a vehicle identification number, a VIN number. They trace it, rental records, a Ryder truck rented under a real name. The same man was sitting quietly in jail for not having a license plate and carrying a concealed weapon. The man in custody? Timothy McVeigh. The building, Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The city, Oklahoma City in the US. At 9:02 a.m., a truck packed with ammonium nitrate and fuel detonated outside the building. 168 people were killed, 19 were children who were in the daycare. It remains the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in US history. McVeigh believed the federal government had declared war on its own citizens. For example, in 1992, at a remote cabin in Idaho, federal agents surrounded a man named Randy Weaver. The standoff became violent. Weaver's wife was shot and killed. It became known as Ruby Ridge. A year later, in Texas, federal agents raided a religious compound called the Branch Davidians, a breakaway religious group who believed their leader was the prophesied branch from the line of King David. Their leader was David Koresh, not his real name. A 51-day siege followed. It ended in fire. More than 70 people died, many of them children. The world remembers it as Waco. To McVeigh, those weren't tragedies. They were proof in his mind that the government was tyrannical. April 19th, the date he chose, was the second anniversary of the fire in Waco. And he later described the children killed as collateral damage. In 1997, he was convicted. On June the 11th, 2001, he was executed by lethal injection. That was fast. He showed no remorse, but the detail that still unsettles people, if that trooper hadn't noticed a missing license plate to pull him over and then noticed a concealed weapon, he likely would have just been given a warning and just driven away. Until next time.